Hi everyone. So in this series of lessons, we're going to be looking at the long U sound and all our spelling choices for that particular sound. Now it's really important that we go from sound to the written word, and I'll show you why. We have the word cute here, which is cute, right? Something that I often see in the same list as cute is something like flute. Now they look like they belong in the same pattern because you can see the UTE, and people would just say, oh, well, this is a bossy E or a split digraph, but these are two different sounds. They don't belong together. This is k-u-t. This is f-l-u-t. Very subtle difference, but this sound here is a diphthong. And how we define a diphthong, or how I talk to children about it and teachers, is that the position of your mouth actually moves while you're saying the sound, okay? So in words like cat and dog, the vowel sound makes one shape with your mouth. So ah, your mouth doesn't move, you just say ah. In dog, you say oh for the oh, right? And your mouth is making one shape. But in diphthong vowels, it's almost like two vowels are kind of melting together into the one. It's still one vowel sound, but our mouth will move from one shape to another. So for example, a really easy one to practice is A, because our mouth starts open, A, and then closes for the A bit of it. Same with I. You can see that your mouth is making the one sound, but it moves. So it goes I. Yeah, it's almost like an I-E. Yeah. In this one, it goes from a EU, from almost like an E sound to a U. So U. Whereas this one, we just say U. Our mouth doesn't move while we're making that sound. It doesn't change position. So it's really good to practice with children the difference. So saying something like A, and I, and then U, okay? Getting them really aware of what's happening in their mouth. So this is multisensory learning. It's paying attention to how your mouth feels, how your mouth is moving, what it sounds like, and also looking in the mirror and testing out what's actually happening with your mouth. So if they're struggling with hearing the difference between cute and flute, they should be watching in the mirror and seeing that in cute, their mouth goes U, okay? So this one we don't want in those lists. So words like blue, for example, like the color blue or the wind blew, it's b-l-u. And that's why it's important to very carefully sound out the words. Now, there are many, many ways in English that we can write the U sound, but there's a very small category of choices that children have at primary school level. So one of them is this. The other one is UE together. And another one is EW, okay? Q and few. There are other ones like beautiful, but that EAU in beautiful only belongs in beauty and beautiful, for example. So we don't have to spend a lot of time worrying about that at the moment. What we really want them to focus on when they're first learning is the most common choices. And the most common choice is U with the split U and the E. And then we have EW, which is the next really common choice, and then we have UE. Now we also have, in very few words, EU. But if you look at the list of those words that have that, the children are not going to be using those particular words. So words like euphoric, it'd be very important for their vocabulary and their reading. But in terms of the words that we want them to learn how to spell now, these are the most common. And I'm going to give you a little tip, which I will talk about in the lessons. When we hear the U followed by a consonant, so it's a closed syllable, so like cube, cute, that's the choice. you can see that these exist mainly for the words that the children are interested in at the moment at the end of a word or at the end of a syllable, okay? So if they hear you something where it's closed, then this is going to be the best choice. So this is actually the most common choice. So this is not as complicated as teaching the A sound, for example, where there's lots of different things to think about. The U is actually going to be a lot easier. So what I suggest is that you use the Spellphabet lists or look at Free Dictionary and look up words that have this sound and spelling pattern. So don't just look for the spelling pattern, look for the sound and how they're represented, and you'll see that these are the most common and this one is going to be the best choice. So when we're teaching children how to choose the U sound in a word, we kind of need to make it a game of probability. What is going to be the best choice in this particular word? So the best way to do that is we're going to start learning about it and looking at lots of examples. So good luck.